Welcome to TRL Radio with your hosts, Eric and Michelle Hall.
Your average Joe experts in simplified health. Welcome back to TRL Radio. We are your hosts, Eric and Michelle, and we're so thankful you decided to join us today. Our goal with everything we do is to provide simple health for imperfect, overwhelmed, busy families that actually works.
And today we are going to dive into the topic of snacking. Now, this might be one of the top reasons that keep most families and individuals from the healthy life they want. Think about when you are on a health kick and you're trying to get healthy, you go into your pantry and you throw out everything that has sugar and carbs and fat and all the things. And you're like, okay, I'm never going to eat anything again except for fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, January 1st or January 2nd, we go through that, right? Most people go through that. So, yeah.
So there's like that extreme, right? Like it just becomes too hard trying to find healthy snacks. Like it's a hard thing to do.
Right. And what will happen is then people will go to the other extreme and be like, okay, well, screw it. This is too difficult. Like, I'm not even going to do this anymore. Like, if this is healthy living, then I don't want nothing to do with it, right?
I can't eat donuts every day, then why bother?
Yes, like there's no happy medium. And we're here to say there's a better way. There's an easier way to both live a healthy life and to have delicious snacks that your entire family loves. And underline entire family, not just like snacks that like mom and dad can put up with because you know they're good for you. And you're like, this isn't great, but whatever. I know it's helpful. But things that your kids will actually like and will be like, oh, this is great. We like it. So today we have 4 simple tips to snack your way to better health.
Sounds so cool. I love it. And the first one is we're going to talk about the right amounts. When I think about the right amount of snacks, I instantly go to that meme, and everyone's probably seen it, whether on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever social media you have, where it's like, so I eat 2 servings of Cheez-Its while I'm trying to figure out what I want to snack on. So like we've all been there where we're standing in the pantry and, we grab the bag of popcorn and we're just mindlessly eating popcorn while we try and figure out, what do I want to eat? And it's like, okay, well, you're eating your snack right now. But how often, we mindlessly eat food and then the right amount goes right out the window.
Yeah, and that's why that meme hits so funny because everybody can relate with that, right? Like you eat 2 snacks while looking for your snack, right? Like it just hits home every week. But one of the problems right now, and I would say probably in the past 100, maybe at most 120 years, is that we have endless access to food. Most people have endless access to food. If you're listening to this, you're probably one of those people. And that's just not how we evolved. That's not how from the beginning of mankind, if you just think about food, like people, you got up and you had to hunt, forage, plant, grow, harvest. Like you had to go do something to get your food. It wasn't just there.
Right.
And that's okay. Like that's just how we evolved. But now we have these refrigerators and these cupboards and these pantries, all great things, but we have food whenever we want.
All right. Even as I mentioned that meme, like I said, the word pantry, it's hard to find a house nowadays that doesn't have a pantry or some kind of closet type food storage.
Right.
I can't imagine people had pantries of food back in the day.
Walk-in closets of food.
Right, literally, it's a walk-in closet of cupboards of food. Or if it was more like you think a root cellar, right? Where they were storing their harvest throughout the winter. So it was produce, right? Your canned and jarred veggies and fruits and things like that they harvested.
But even what you're saying there is you think about it, they were storing it for a purpose.
Right.
Not to be, what is it? Game of Thrones, winter is coming, right?
Winter is always coming.
Yeah, winter was coming, so they were storing because the hunting and the harvesting and the foraging and the growing and planting would be far more difficult, if not impossible, in those times. And so they were rationing their food, right? And when there's a scarcity, or maybe even better to say when there's not an overabundance, rationing is relatively easy. You wouldn't snacking really wasn't a thing, right? Like you didn't go snack. Nothing wrong with snacking. So before you hit stop and you're like, screw it, they're going to tell me to not snack.
We eat snacks.
Yes, that's
we
not
love the sneaky
we're
snacks.
not saying to not snack, and we'll get to that. But with this new invention of snacking, because we have this endless amounts of food, like we don't have to ration. Like, because if you eat all your food, guess what you do? You either, maybe worst case scenario, have to go to the store, actually get in your car, drive to a store to go buy something to come back and get it. Or easiest case scenario is you just Uber something to you.
Right.
You literally don't have to get out of your bed. Not to be weird, but you don't even got to put clothes on. Like they'll just drop it off at your door.
Right.
You just get on your phone, you hit your app. I want this. I want it delivered here. I want it to my house. And you just go grab it. And amazing technology. Nothing. Again, we're not hating on those things, but that's not how we evolved. Like that is not a way that we came about. And so now it's super easy for us to overeat. And that's where snacking can become a problem because we have this endless access to food.
Right. And so if we want to focus on the right amounts, you have to look at serving sizes.
Yep.
You know, we talk about nutrition labels and they're important, but a lot of times we're not looking at, the calories and the, amount of this and amount of that. Like those things have their importance. That's not what we focused on when we were losing weight.
Right.
It was how much is a serving size? And then what is it made of?
Yeah,
right.
What are the
and we'll get into that. But
right.
like, how much is a serving size? And so that was important when we chose what snacks we wanted. There's certain things that, certain popcorns or certain, nuts, things like that. It's like, oh, I could have a whole cup of this, or I can, or I can have 5 Cheez-Its.
Right.
I'd rather have the cup or two of popcorn than have 5 Cheez-Its.
Right.
So you really have to take that into account when you're choosing your snacks.
Yep. Yeah. Nutrition labels are going to be so critical. Like follow them, like read it. What does it say? And know that that's a serving size. Sure. Pay attention to the, carbs, calories, whatever. But more important is what are they saying a serving size is? Sometimes one package of something can be 2 serving sizes.
Right. How many candy bars are
right.
2 serving sizes? And people are like, oh, I'm going to eat 2 candy bars.
Right. Yeah. So be careful, when you're like, so obviously like you just said there, for the right amounts, the one of the first simple solutions is just make sure you're following serving sizes. So it kind of begs the question, okay, like what about things that don't have nutrition labels? Like, how much, apple should I eat, or how much whatever, right? Things that don't have a box or sticker on it. The easiest way to get a serving size that doesn't have a nutrition label is if you look at the palm of your hand, and if you were to take it and like, not to be weird again, but like to cut off your fingers, right? All 4 fingers in your thumb, that part that would be left, that would be a serving size, right? And so if you were to do a handful of something, it would be, hey, what fits in that handful right there? Even when you start looking at like another easy example, like you think about a meat. This is more obviously a dinner thing as opposed to a snack thing, right? But like a serving size of meat is just the palm of your hand, not the palm with your fingers and thumb, but like just right there, that round part of your hand, that's the serving size. So when you start thinking about things, so it makes sense because the question would be, your serving size would be much smaller than my serving size, right? Not much smaller. My hands are not big. But
They're perfect. But like you think a toddler versus a 60-year-old man, like their hands are going to be different sizes. And so their snacks should be different sizes.
Exactly. Yeah. So their serving sizes are going to be different, right? So just as a way to keep that in mind, and when you start thinking about serving sizes. So
absolutely. And then, so the question would be, okay, right amount of each individual one, that's cool. How many a day?
Right.
So can I just have a handful 20 times a day? Is that okay? And it's like, well, probably not.
No.
Probably not.
I don't think so.
No. Yeah. So we stuck by the rule, 2 snacks a day. We typically had our breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I know that can look different for different families, and that's okay. But we stuck to 2 snacks per day.
Right.
And, you can work on the timing of like when you want them and things like that, but like 2 a day. That was it.
2 of the right serving size I'd say every day at most, right? That was at most, right? And I guess even to take a quick step back, this, what we're talking about now in general, is good for just overall health, overall eating habits. You want to be real strict to this if you're looking to lose weight. If you're looking to lose weight, you want to make sure that you are sticking to what we're saying right now. If you're looking to maintain, maybe there's a little bit more flexibility, right?
Absolutely.
But like,
we
again,
were
between the
looking
two
to
of us,
lose significant amounts of weight.
Like, especially me, but especially looking back at pictures, like it's funny maybe because I was so unhealthy and so overweight that like, again, not that you were ever crazy, but like didn't even really notice it.
Right.
We look back at old pictures and I'm like, again,
wow,
not that you were massive by any stretch, but
I got a little chunky.
yeah. And so like 200 pounds and 6 feet of fat. This is how we did it.
Right.
Right. And snacking was one of the things that would trip us up before we started looking at this. So like right amounts, 2 a day at most, and like figure out what works for you. Right. I can literally remember for me, between breakfast and lunch was easy to not snack. I had and still have a full-time job. Between breakfast and lunch, it's honestly really easy for me to work.
That time goes by quickly.
It goes by super fast before I know it at lunchtime, right? And I have a high calorie full protein shake for breakfast. I literally don't even think about food until lunch, maybe even a little after like 12:30ish or so. Then I'll have lunch. So for me, I did my first snack between lunch and dinner.
It does seem like that time does not go by quite as quickly, unfortunately.
And then depending upon the time we had dinner, and we'll get to that in a minute, I'd have a snack after dinner. So that's what worked for me. Like, and we said it before when we were like, it didn't feel like losing weight was as hard as it should have been. This was one of the reasons, because we were able to snack and we followed these rules and it worked out great. So 2 snacks a day of the right serving size at most. Some days if it's like, oh, I'm only going to do 1 today, great.
Right.
So, yeah.
So then the next question is, okay, well, 2 snacks of what? Can I have... I love Snickers bars. And so I'm going to have a Snickers bar from between lunch and dinner, and then I'm going to have another Snickers bar after dinner. It's 2 snacks in one day. I'm cool, right? I'm good?
Like, yeah, as long as you follow the serving size, you're fine.
We're good. If 1 Snickers bar is 1 serving size, perfect. Yeah. Awesome. Done.
So the second rule or the second principle, I don't want to say rule, but the second kind of philosophy to follow, we said the right amount. Second one would be the right foods. You want to have the right amounts of the right foods. So by that we mean there's a couple things, we'll get into it. I'll hit on the first one here. Single whole food snacks. What does that mean? I mentioned apples before. An apple is a single whole food snack. There's no ingredients in an apple. There's no nutrition label. An apple is made up of an apple. Grapes are made up of grapes. Carrots are made up of carrots. Sugar snap peas are made up of sugar snap peas. There's no ingredients that go into it. You plant the freaking seed and it grows, right? As much as you can keep your snacks to those things, you are going to be far better off. And side note, I know it sounds crazy, you will feel more full because those single whole food snacks fill you up more than other things do. And also too, you'll be getting tons and tons of benefits and you'll start to desire them. Like your gut will actually start to be like, and I know this sounds crazy, like look back at the old pictures of me, like old me would look at new me, it would be like, you're crazy that you're saying this. I'll never desire to have an apple. I tell you, it happens. It happens. Where you're like, that just an apple sounds good. So anyhow, single whole food snacks, the key to them is having them prepared.
Absolutely. This is where you get your produce, whether it's from the grocery store, the farmer's market, whatever. You want to bring it home and as soon as possible, wash, cut, store it in the fridge, front and center so that it's ready to go. There's been times where I've picked up our, produce share from...
Shout out to Greg's
from Greg's You Pick Farm. And this literally just happened. It was a busy day. I literally took the bags that I had them in, like the grocery bags I had all our produce in, threw it in the downstairs fridge. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get to it tomorrow. It sat in there for a week.
Right.
Because I got busy and I was like, oh gosh, this stuff better still be good. Like, did I ruin? And I went down, and because it was like fresh picked, it was still good.
Right.
But if you wait, that's usually when, no one eats it because
Produce
you don't
goes to
see
waste.
it. It
Yeah.
goes to waste. And so make sure that you're prepping it so that it's ready. If we buy grapes and we leave them in the clamshell container that the grapes come in, or the bag or whatever, they will rot in the back of our fridge. No one touches them.
Right.
If we wash them, pluck them off the little vine and put them in the bowl, which is super annoying, but it really doesn't take that long.
No.
Literally leave them in an open bowl, no lid in the fridge. Those suckers are gone within like 2 days.
Yeah.
Because people will just, okay, this is my snack. I'm going to grab a handful.
It's easy.
Yep.
Right? And I know you do it with carrots. Like, you cut the carrots up into, like, snack size, so you can grab a handful of carrots. It's just, if you don't make healthy snacking easy, candy bars are easy. Cheez-Its are easy. Chips are easy. Those aren't going to be your best snacks, right? So have single whole food snacks, have them prepared and easy to get to, right? Easily accessible. So.
Absolutely. Now the second category here is something that if you have a little bit more time, these are great things to either prepare ahead of time or, I have 10 minutes to make a snack.
Right.
These healthy snacking creation things. Think mixed nuts. Right now, we're not growing our own cashews and almonds and almond trees in the backyard. But I will go and I find, the raw, unsalted almonds and cashews and pistachios and all these things. Our favorite nuts, because I'm going to be honest, there's certain ones I don't like as much. You probably like them all.
All of them.
You love all of them. Cashews and pistachios. That's what I'm picking
I have
through.
Favorites. I have
That's
favorites
what I'm
for
picking
sure.
through. But you get the different nuts that you like, the raw, organic, whatever it is. Combine them into a jar. That jar is in our pantry so that it still is easy to grab.
Yeah.
But there was prep work, right?
Yeah.
Like you had to mix them up. Feel like that's a really easy prep one.
Super easy.
And again, you can make it however you like it, whatever nuts you like. But think about something that takes a little bit longer. This is nostalgia for me, but think of ants on a log. Do you remember having that when you were a kid?
I absolutely do. Yeah.
and maybe it's different for everyone. For us, it was the celery stick.
Yep.
And then you would smear some peanut butter in there.
Right.
And then either raisins or chocolate chips, right?
Right.
That's a great snack.
Yep.
If you're using celery, I don't know how, I don't think there's bad celery, right?
No.
It's not get the good celery. I don't know. All celery is good. It's one of the only vegetables that it actually takes more calories to burn it than consuming something that, right?
Celery is 99% water.
Right. Perfect. But it's crunchy.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for that crunchy, doesn't have a whole lot of flavor. It takes on whatever flavor. You put some raw or natural peanut butter on there with, again, your raisins or dark chocolate chips.
Yeah.
Magic. I don't know why that still hits as an adult, but it gives you the crunch. You got a little bit of the chocolate, and then you got your protein
salty,
with
sweet,
your
yep.
Delicious. Absolutely delicious.
Yeah. One of the things that I found in losing weight that really helped me was chips and dip are a classic snack, right? Obviously, chips and dip are not going to be the most health conscious, help you hit your goals, you're trying to lose weight snack. Not that it's bad or wrong, but that's not going to be the most helpful. What I did is you take, whether it be celery, some of those carrots we talked about. I really like sugar snap peas a lot because they kind of have, again, that crunch to them as well. They're thin. But you take those and you can dip those into hummus. If you look at the nutrition label on a hummus, I think 2 tablespoons a lot of times is a serving size.
It's a decent amount.
And that's a decent amount of hummus. And if you buy the good, again, look at the ingredients. Like we mentioned before, we're talking about the right foods. Get the ingredients right, because some hummuses have sneak in some nefarious ingredients there. But hummus, tzatziki, even natural peanut butter, like you were talking about there. If you take pretty much any of those things I just mentioned, I never really try to dip a sugar snap pea into peanut butter. I don't know what that would be like.
Maybe it's a delicious creation.
Celery, you mentioned, right? But the tzatziki. Hummus, and again, those are 2 things that you can make from home. Those recipes will be coming to our website soon.
Even peanut butter. We've made homemade peanut butter. I've made chocolate peanut butter.
Right.
Delicious. No crazy preservatives, things like that. And they actually are relatively easy to make. They don't take long. So they're all things you can buy, and there are good varieties out there. But if you have the time, you can make them too.
Yeah.
And like I said, pretty easily.
Yep. And again, you want to stick to the right amounts there, right? So it's not like this heaping like bowl of hummus or tzatziki, right? A serving size of hummus, a serving size of, I'll just say, sugar snap peas or carrots. Great, right? Cottage cheese, another one right there. Like, some cottage cheese. Again, super good. Those things to dip in really give you that snacky type feel. So.
Right. And then there's some things that might take a little bit longer where it's like, okay, this is something I'm going to meal prep on Sunday so that we have it for the week. That would be things like your protein balls. If you look on the website, I have a recipe for banana muffins. Those are delicious. The chocolate peanut butter quinoa bites we shared in the last episode are an amazing snack because you can have just a couple of those, like, because they're tiny. Little foreshadowing to the end of the episode today. The recipe that we're going to share today is another great snack.
Yep.
Crazy easy to make. But yeah, just things that, okay, this is going to take a little bit of forethought, right? Like, I'm going to have to think about this. I'm going to have to find time to make it. None of those things I just mentioned take crazy long amounts of time, but it's prepping beforehand so that you have it ready to go when you're like, I'm so hungry, I need a snack. Cool. Let me grab a banana muffin. You can throw those in the freezer so they'll last longer, right? Let me grab a protein ball out of the fridge.
Yep.
It's ready made for when you want it. You just got to think about it a couple days ahead of time.
Right. Yep. Those are all great things. So then the final, category of some of the quote unquote right foods is this purchase foods. You don't have to home make everything,
Right.
They don't all have to be single food ingredients. You can also, there are some great snacks you can just purchase that are ready to go, that are purchased. So some of the things that we regularly have on hand are high quality meat sticks, right? You want to get the grass fed, grass finished. That gives you some protein as well, usually around 9 or 10 grams of protein.
And those are things that, like, we've had the Paleo Valley ones. They're delicious. They're so good. Aldi started carrying the grass-fed ones. And
grass-fed, grass-finished.
And they're great. And they're fantastic. It's like they're not crazy expensive when you think about each, each one is $1 or whatever. But when you buy a bag of 8 meat sticks for like $13, it's like, oh, this is an expensive snack. They do last a while, but that's definitely one, like, okay, to get the high quality stuff, you're not thinking
Slim Jim.
Yes, not a Slim Jim. That is not a high quality.
Man Randy Savage snap into a Slim Jim.
Wow, throwing it way back.
Yeah, way back to the 90s. Anyone who, you know what? Anyone who remembers that, kudos to you right now.
Kudos to you. You're our people.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
So yeah, like, look for the good quality. They are out there. They're a little bit more expensive, but not crazy.
Yeah, another one we like is the specifically popcorn, but lesser evil popcorn. You can also pop your own popcorn.
Right.
Obviously, that's not store bought. Like, you buy the kernels. That's another quick one that you can just, and it's kind of cool. Like, again, talk about your nostalgic, right, of watching the kernels pop. Like, I'm not a kid and I still stand over and I watch it pop, right? So anyhow, but popcorn, lesser evil has popcorns they use great oils. They have good ingredients. Rice cakes. They have different kind of varieties of those. You can just go to your straight up rice cake.
Rice cakes get so much hate, and I don't understand because they're like crunchy and airy, and you feel like
you can get them lightly salted, so there's some flavor to them.
Trader Joe's has ones that they are, I believe it's organic brown rice cakes, and then there's a really thin layer of 70% dark chocolate on top. That was my snack today, actually, and they're so small that you can have 2 of them. Delicious. It's like having a crunchy candy bar without all
what I'll do is I'll take the 2 of them and put like some of that natural peanut butter between them and do like a little, I guess, sandwich. Really good.
Yeah. I'm like, I love a rice cake. So I don't understand why they get all the hate, but I think they're delicious.
Yeah, they're awesome. Another thing we use a lot of is Top Seeds crackers. They're seed crackers. Like, we've actually, check out our Instagram. We actually made some of these in our house. Super good ingredients, super simple ingredients. You can either buy that to make it yourself, or you can buy the pre-made crackers, Top Seeds crackers.
Yeah, they're delicious. And there are, like, We get those. We also get like fire hook crackers. Those are ones that, again, it's made with like avocado oil. There's like 5 ingredients in them. They're delicious. You can make your own as well. But there are good crackers out there. That's one of those food things that you just want to be careful with, because a Cheez-It is not the same as a Top Seed cracker.
Goldfish crackers are not the same. Like pretzels even.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of snacks that are touted.
Definitely toted.
I think it's touted. Touted as healthy that aren't. Right. Like, I think about like most of your granola bars in your grocery aisle, not healthy.
Right.
Like, they're not bad. They're good for what they are. You just got to know what they are.
It's a glorified candy bar.
Yeah, they're just not going to be a great health-forward snack, right? So, so just be careful there. Again, there's a lot of things you can buy, a lot of things you can make. Be prepared is one thing. Then we kind of start thinking about, like, okay, we're talking about, like, having some snacks here, right? Snacking. There's also treats, right? So treats would be more like your more decadent, like birthday cake, right? Like brownie, ice cream sundae, right? Those are not off the table.
No, because that's the thing. Again, yes, we lost weight, but we didn't stop eating cookies.
Right. Or a cookie, right.
or birthday cake. It wasn't like, oh, it's one of the kids' birthdays. I guess I can't have this. Well, that's, again, I mean, that kind of goes back to like, no, you can't eat a donut every day, but I don't want to live in a world where I can't occasionally have a donut and like not feel guilty about it. So those treats, yes, 100% you can still have them, but.
Yeah, you just want to be very mindful. Again, you want to follow the same rules, the right amounts, right? So you don't want to have this giant sundae or this giant piece of cake, but you want to stick to really having those like at most 1 to 2 per week, and it will replace one of your snacks that day. Again, that's where some preparation comes involved. If you know you have a work party coming up, right? After hours work party on Friday, maybe you're like, I know I'm going to be having a treat then, so I'm not going to have a treat on Monday or Tuesday or whatever. So there is some forethought of, my kid's birthday's coming up. You're like, I'm not going to not have a piece of cake on my kid's birthday. So I'm going to be thinking maybe that day I don't have any snacks because I know I have this treat coming up. So there is, and like, believe it or not, I literally thought through this to lose the weight because I was like, I want to lose weight. And it's homework at first, but it becomes like a routine, of like, okay, hey, this is okay to do. So anyhow, there is a difference between treats and snacks. Both are okay. They're just different and they need to be treated differently. Cheez-It would not be a snack. It would be a treat. Hey, I want to have some Cheez-Its. No shame. Just understand what that is. That's not a snack.
Right. Yeah. You want Oreo cookies? Cool. Have the Oreo cookies.
Yeah.
But that would be a treat. Save it for, movie night. No, I want to have a couple Oreo cookies with a glass of milk. You can do that.
Yeah, exactly. So we have the right amounts of the right foods. The next thing is the right times. Right times, you've heard us say it probably before, circadian eating. So like with all of our eating, we want to stay between that 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. window. And so you start thinking, and it's usually when it comes to snacking, before 8 a.m. is pretty easy. No one's really snacking at 7:30 in the morning. But post 8 p.m., you have your Netflix you're watching a movie. Again, all great things, nothing bad. It can be easy to snack after 8 p.m.
Absolutely. That's when all the mindless eating happens because you had dinner back at, 6:30 and now it's 9 o'clock and you're like, oh, I'm kind of hungry again. And we're watching Netflix or we're watching this or that and I want a snack. Oh, I want my snack. I need my sweet treat. I need this, Okay, like that needs to be planned. Like if you are going to do that, yes, you have a movie night planned, right? Okay, have your treat, but that's a once in a while thing. For the everyday, you're eating between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. because your body needs time to not be eating.
Right.
It needs to be able to digest. And if it's digesting well into the night because, you ate from 10 p.m. to 11 p.m., your body's not able to do all the other things it needs to do because it's so focused on digesting, which is a lot of times why we can then wake up the next day and feel groggy and icky and like your body wasn't able to fully recover in all the other ways because it was so busy digesting all the garbage. Because usually when you're eating at 10 p.m., it's not really the best things either. Right.
You kind of don't hit a lot of those things. And so, again, we're looking for progress, not perfection. So we try to stick with the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of the time we're eating between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. So when you're planning your after dinner snack, like I remember telling you, like, hey, as much as we can, let's have dinner at like 6:37, so we're done by 7:30, so that way I'm done. If I want to have an evening snack, it's gone before 8, right? There would be certain nights where like that wouldn't happen, and I personally would be like, all right, well, I'm just not gonna have a snack tonight. I'll survive. I will be fine, right?
Right. There were times where the kids had games that we would be at a volleyball game until 8 o'clock, and then we're coming home by 8:30, and that was dinner time because it was either 8:30 or eat at like 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Right.
Okay, well, that's just what we have to do because that's life and it happens. But 80% of the time, that wasn't what was happening. So the 20% of the time that it was, our bodies could handle it. It was okay.
Yep. So stick to that again. Not perfection, just progress. Right now, maybe you're 50-50. Right? Just move a percentage closer in the right direction, right? To where you get to that 80-20. And there will be planning involved, right? Of thinking through, like, what is the plan? What do we want to do here? When do I want to be snacking? What's our schedule looking like? When do I want to have that treat, right? So planning is involved there. So then the fourth one, if you want to listen to that one, we have the right amount of the right food at the right times.
In the right ways.
Okay.
All right. So we've already kind of hit on this, but we really want to avoid that mindless snacking where you're just eating because you're bored, right? The Netflix and snack. Oh, like the Pavlov's dog. Oh, the Netflix sound comes on as you click on the app and instantly you're salivating because you're like, where's my snack? I need my Netflix snack.
Yep.
And it's like, no, you don't.
And that's a real thing. Like
truly.
Like that Netflix sound goes on and people are like, man, I'm suddenly really hungry. Or as soon as you sit your butt on that couch, like, again, that's where you want to be careful of that. Be deliberate. Like, as opposed to being like, what's mindless? Just be deliberate. I was getting ready to point at Autumn, but I can't. So like our Autumn, our daughter who is doing the recording for us, like she'll take these, like you buy these dark pieces of chocolate and like they're in like a wrapper. She'll like crack them all up and break them all up, and so that the wrapper comes, they're all small pieces, and then just eat the piece as opposed to like eating it like a candy bar, if you would, because it'll be gone. Like to savor it, it's a more deliberate way of doing it. I remember when I did have like a treat, losing weight as a snack, or had a cookie as a treat that you would make. Like I would put it on a plate and I would break a piece off and eat it, and I would literally count to 20 as I chewed it, and then it would swallow, and then I watch TV or whatever. Right. But it was very deliberate because I'm like, I get 2 of these a week at most. I want to really enjoy this.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not going to inhale it in 2 bites and be like, dang, that's gone, and I don't even know what it tasted like.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Or even think sitting at your desk. How many offices you walk into and there's, jars of candy or treats or whatever just sitting out, and they're for the customers or they're for the office. But if it's sitting on your desk, gosh, for me, that temptation would be so great. My hand would be in that jar multiple times a day, whether it be M&Ms or mixed nuts or I don't know, whatever people put on their, desk.
Kevin from The Office, right?
Kevin from The Office.
Think about Kevin from The Office has that jar of M&Ms on his desk, right? So don't be Kevin from The Office. Although he's one of my favorite characters. He's amazing.
Amazing. But maybe not have the jar of M&Ms that's the size of your face.
Yeah, I like the way you said it when we were putting this together. You said, like, make snacking harder.
Right.
Like, so that way it has to be deliberate. It's not just there to grab. Like the grabbing snacks, you just got to be really careful with that. And so those are really our 4 things, right? So we want to, again, just to quickly reiterate, you want to eat the right amounts of the right foods at the right times in the right ways. These are principles. Don't look at them as rules. And as you start going through it, it kind of just makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Snacking can be something that can help you. Literally, when we say snack your way to better health, like, yes, you can do that. And it can be fulfilling and it can be great. And you could be sitting saying, wow, losing this weight isn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. It takes some deliberateness and it's not easy, but it's also not complicated.
Absolutely. So. Absolutely. And so we're at the end of our episode. Obviously, if you've been listening for any amount of time, we end every episode with a rudimentary ritual. Yep. So as we're talking about snacks, babe, what's a rudimentary ritual that we stick to? Yeah,
I mean, we've already mentioned today, probably goes without saying, but just of having healthy snacks on hand, because you're going to eat what's on hand. So just having healthy snacks ready, right? Of having them in the fridge ready to go, having them, and I say, this isn't necessarily my rudimentary ritual. This is what we do. Like this past Saturday, like you were making brunch and I was picking off the grapes off of the vine because I can do that and put them in the bowl and rinse them off, right? Because I'm like, Yeah, like
They'll get eating that way. All of our kids have even started their favorite snacks. They will prepare. Autumn does frozen grapes. She loves the frozen grapes.
Right.
So she has a container in the freezer that says Autumn's grapes, do not touch. And she puts her little frozen grapes in there.
Yeah.
Maddie loves to make different kinds of protein balls. She made like a matcha ball at one point.
And then she'll forget about them, which I love, because I'll be like, can I have these? She's like, oh, I forgot about those. Yeah, you can have them. And then
exactly. Like, yeah, all of our kids, Sydney makes things that she likes because they do all have different tastes. So get your kids involved. Let them make some of their favorite things. Get it in the fridge. Have it prepped, ready to go. Make snacking easier.
There you go. And you've already teased our recipe for earlier in the episode, but what's the recipe you want to share today?
So the recipe for today is one of my favorites. It's crunchy chocolate raspberry bark. And you think, okay, that sounds like a candy bar. In all honesty, it has a candy bar vibe to it. But because the ingredients are such good ingredients, it's something you can have pretty much daily if you wanted to.
Right.
Again, right amounts and at the right times. But it's just dark chocolate. I get freeze-dried raspberries where literally the only ingredient is raspberries. And then the one weird ingredient is I buy puffed quinoa. Now, I've searched store shelves for this stuff because I've seen other recipes that call for it. I struggled to find it. So I finally just went to Amazon. I was like, okay, let me see what I can find. There's a couple different brands, but there's this one that we get, and we'll make sure to link it in the notes. It's organic puffed quinoa, and it's a big container of it that you get, and it's delicious. And using that puffed quinoa, it doesn't taste like you're putting like weird grains into candy.
Right.
It tastes like a Nestle Crunch bar. It just gives it that crunch. But those are the three main ingredients. I think I put like a pinch of sea salt and a little bit of coconut oil in it, but you just spread it on a pan, throw it in the freezer, and after it freezes, you crack it up. I think the first time when I was trying to figure out this recipe, the first time I made it, it took me 10 minutes. So it's super easy.
And it's
delicious.
It's so good.
And you can have a pretty good chunk of it as a snack. You know?
You think about like there's no nutrition label, right? So think about like what a serving size is, right? Like couple pieces that about the size of the palm of your hand, like it hits a spot at night, like it's very, very good.
Yeah,
like,
and you could honestly put any freeze-dried fruit that you want. If you're like, oh, I don't like raspberries, put freeze-dried strawberries in it, like whatever.
Blueberry bark, whatever.
But yep, anything. Delicious, easy, something to make ahead of time. Keep it in the freezer. Stays forever.
Yep, and you can snack your way to better health.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so thanks so much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We hope that you found something you can use to improve you and your family's lives.
Yeah, and if so, let us know. We love hearing from you, hearing your stories. Share it on social media. You can screenshot it, tag us, leave a comment on Spotify or YouTube, or a rating on Apple Podcasts. However you're listening, watching, whatever. That means more to us than you can possibly imagine. And just make sure you're subscribed, following us on any of those platforms as well.
Yeah, you'll be the first to know what's going on and doing that kind of stuff. But yeah, we have a ton more coming. We are super excited about what we have coming with more guests coming. So make sure you stay tuned to TR Radio. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time. If you want more of Eric and Michelle Hall and TRL Radio in your life, and honestly, who doesn't, head over to theRudimentaryLife.com.
There, you'll be able to find all the things, show notes, videos, step-by-step instructions for each recipe, more ways to connect with us and join in with whatever shenanigans we're getting into.
Yeah, and for extra credit, leave us a rating on your favorite listening app. We definitely appreciate all the love.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next time.